The North-South rivalry is the most exciting part about Grosse Pointe. The Great American Rivalry rated at number 5 in high school rivalries in the nation. The competition is always fierce and most of the time gets ugly. It's the player's favorite moment in their high school football career. It's two teams putting everything out there for their school.
North-South?
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 All the games are competitive, but the most competitive game of the year by far was when we played our crosstown rival, Grosse Pointe South.
The rivalry itself was gargantuanly big.
Every year between Grosse Pointe North and Grosse Pointe South, it's a huge rivalry. It kind of started because South originally was the only high school in Grosse Pointe, ended up splitting into North and South.
The highlight of their rivalry is usually the North-South football game, which is probably early October.
The game is usually in the middle of the year, and it was by far the most intense, even more intense than homecoming, and it was the most fun to play because all the students would come out, and I think we had over 2,000 people at the game our senior year.
Every year we start out, everyone knows it as Hell Week. That's a tough practice. Build up to the game is intense. You got everything going at school. You get stuff put on your locker, go north, beat south. Knowing that it was the last time I'm ever going to be on that field playing against my rival was pretty cool. And being next to my best friend, we knew that we had to win that game.
The students from North usually scream at the students from South. The South students scream at the kids from North.
It was a little nonsensical, but it carried over onto the football field. Some words were thrown around.
There's a lot of provocative language towards each other, but, it's not really going anywhere after that. It's just all talk.
There was a couple kids on the other team that were calling us white trash, pussies. And we were throwing it right back at them. We were calling them some things they weren't expecting, that's for sure.
If you were to see them and you were to be wearing any North attire, they would instantly get in your face because they had no class. They were what we like to call cake eaters, trust fund babies, rich boys that were going to inherit their daddy's company or so on, and we would have to work for whatever we got. We hated South.
The week leading up to the game is very mellow, very relaxed. Everybody's ready for the game. They're making plans. They're thinking of who's going to win. There's a lot of talk between the two schools, and it's just overall a great time.
I remember my first North-South game. I was in the 5th grade. It was actually the last time we had lost to South in that whole span, and it went into overtime. It was a game in the rain, and just the arrogance of the Blue Devil fans really got under my skin.
Going into the game, we had already won 6 years in a row. The varsity team had anyway, and both teams were 5-0 to start the year. It was our 6th game of the year.
From then on, I had gone to every North-South game, I would say. Never missed one. And they were all, there was one that was close, 7-3, my junior year of high school. But other than that, they were all, I think it's safe to say, blowouts.
One of my friends is actually the quarterback for our team, and the entire game he was scrambling, trying to make best of what he can do.
We had a really great running back that year, Tommy Watkins, and we were trusting him with the ball.
We had this running back. He was a little ball of fire. His name was Tommy Watkins. The kid was a little bit smaller than me, but he was as wide as a house, and he had something like a 4.7 40.
Going into halftime, I'm sure they thought that they could overcome the 10-point deficit. We were, however, really confident playing at Grosse Pointe South.
Blue Devils fans thought they had it, but they didn't. They didn't know it was going to hit them.
It started out as being just a really rough game. It was game in the trenches, that's for sure. It was a battle of offensive and defensive lines who could control the line of scrimmage.
I remember the excitement of the game so well because they thought they were going to be beating us the entire time, but really we were beating them the entire time. They didn't score until the fourth quarter, if I remember correctly.
They scored their only touchdown of the game in the fourth quarter, but it was too late. We won the game 24-7. The party on the 50-yard line commenced. We were acting a fool on the football field.
And sure enough, we had to rush the field. We had to get our say. And they said they were going to stop and have a party on the 50 after they beat us, but we had a party on their 50 after we beat them.
When you're on the field and you know the clock's running down and that everyone's just going to be running at you and jumping all over you, there's no feeling like that when a team gets to rush the field.
There's one person in particular that you don't want to be next when storming the field. You just want to stay away from him because he's kind of... and he can easily overpower me being a small person. But his name is Kirk Gowan.
My friend Kirk, who smelled like pee when he sweats, I'll never forget what he kept saying. Everybody that goes to our school ran onto the field, all the students, and he kept looking for the freshman girls to try to take advantage of on the field.
The first thing I remember when I got on the field is just this big red glow, and it was Kirk Gowan just trying to find some girl he could, get his hands on, but it didn't work out in the end for him.
I know a couple of my good friends led that charge, and to know that means the world to me, that they were there for us running on that field. And being right next to my best friend, it was just an unbelievable feeling. Nothing's ever going to match that.